The Academic Game Maker and Player software allows teachers to quickly and easily create fun educational games for any curriculum. First, teachers use the Academic Game Maker to create learning games and then save them as a game file. Students can then load these game files and play the games using the Academic Game Player. There are 3 different games that can be made: Laser 1, Matching, and Laser 2. In this video, I'll give you an overview of the Game Maker and Game Player software and show you how to make a game for your classes. Okay, let's just start to make our first game. We'll click on the Make Game button. Let's give our game a name. We'll call it New Game. We'll start by making a Laser 1 game, so we'll click on that to choose it. And we'll give it a description. Let's call it Colors 1. Click on the Make Game button. You can see here we have a choice of 8 questions and answers. I'm also going to give this a name, Colors 1. And the question is grass, and the answer will be green. We can then say fire engine, and the answer will be red. Question 3, sky, and the answer will be blue, etc. So I'm going to fill the rest of these in, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, I filled in all of the questions and answers for the 10 possibilities. Note the set game speed. We'll return to that in a second. So let's go and test our game. So let's see, game 1, test. And you can see here is the Laser 1. There are the questions which will show up at the bottom, the answers which will be bouncing around, and the students, by pressing on the right and left arrow keys, get to move the laser back and forth, and then hopefully black hole, we're looking for black, they will pick the correct answer. If they get it correct, they get a score, and if they hit the wrong answer, they lose a point. And they will continue going until they get all of the answers correct, and then they will get the ability to go back to the main menu and choose to either exit or to play one of the other games. Now let's go back. You could see how the objects were bouncing around depending on the speed of your computer. It could be that you would change the speed that the objects are bouncing around the screen. You can see there are a lot quicker, probably too quick. So we'll go back and you can adjust this until you see that it's working out right for your computer. So that's the first game. Let's go on and create our second game. I'm going to create a matching game, so I'll click on the matching game icon. I'll give it a description. I'm going to call it Colors 2. Click on the Make Game button. And you can see here that we have a choice of 8 different matching questions. Again, we'll give it a round title, Colors 2. And for each of the matching questions, you can either have text or you can have a graphic. So you would have a text versus text, graphic versus text, or graphic versus graphic. So I'm going to start with a text. I'm going to use the word green, and then I'm going to choose a matching graphic. I have created a number of graphic files, and I have placed them in a folder. Now, it's very important that you put the graphic files in the same folder that you place the saved game file. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to place that in the desktop. I've created a folder called New Game, and I'm going to create a file called newfile.game and save it. Then what I did is I went and I placed the files that I'm going to use for my matching game in that same folder. One of which was called green.jpg, and then I'm going to go and make another matching question, red. Now, you may forget what the file names are, so you can click on the File Selector button, go to the desktop, go to the New Game file, and you can see here are the colors. So I can either click on that, copy and paste, or just remember what the file name is and type it in there. I'm going to continue on and finish up this part of the game. Let me show you another aspect of the game. There is a screen capture utility. So you can start it, and then you can drag this anywhere you want inside of your screen and start your capture, and then you can choose an area of the screen to capture. So if you have a picture of a clown, as one example, that might be among a lot of other figures, you could then clip and save that file, and again, you want to save it into your New Game folder. So I want to quit that out, and I'm going to finish this game. Be back in a second. Okay, I've filled in the rest of the questions, the matching questions. I should note that on every screen there is a help that will describe to you exactly what to do and review what I've just talked about. Notice that when you do save your graphics, the blocks are squares, 90 by 90 pixels. So the closest that you get to both the being a 90 by 90, the graphics will look the best. Let's return. Let's test the game. You can see here is the matching. If we click on one, there's purple and there's green. Obviously they were not correct because we want to match the word with the color. So we can keep going. Oh, there's one that's correct. Get it correct, you get positive score, and get incorrect, you lose points. And of course you keep going until you get everything correct. So that's the matching game. Okay, we're going to go on and create a Laser 2 game. Before we do that, we probably should add to our game description here, because your students will need some kind of a direction. So if you remember in this game, we were shooting the color, the correct color of the object. So we can go and say something like hit the color of the object at the bottom of the screen. Whatever you want to do to make it obvious. For colors 2, we might say click on 2 squares to select the name of the color and the actual color. Can probably do a better job than I'm doing. And then we're going to make our third game, which is Laser 2. And we're going to say fire to hit the nouns, but not the adjectives. And we'll click on the Make Game button. So in this game, there are 10 possibilities, 10 that you want to try to hit, and 10 that you do not want to hit. So I'm going to give the round title Nouns and Adjectives. And let's try to hit the nouns. So we'll have things like bridge, house, and we don't hit the adjectives, which are adjectives like large, round, and I'll fill the rest of these in and I'll return in a moment. Okay, I've filled in the rest of the try to hits and try not to hits. So let's return. We'll test our game here. You can see that you've got a little spaceship which you can turn right and left by using the right and left arrow keys, and you can shoot the laser by hitting the space bar. Oops. Well, you can see I didn't want to hit that because it wasn't a noun. Let's see. Oh, hit the wrong one again. There we go. Got a house. That was correct. Let's see. Car. Oops. Got that one right. Didn't hit anything. And so on. Again, when you get the correct answer, you get points. And when you get the wrong answer, you don't get points. So now we have a game that consists of 3 parts: the Laser 1 game, the matching game, and the Laser 2 game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that file. It was a desktop. It was a new game, new file game. So we'll save that. And then I'm going to quit the game maker. After you've saved the file, you can then have your students open the academic game player, play games, and they will load the file that you made, desktop, new game, and you can see the 3 games that you created will show up, and then the students can play those 3 games. One of the problems to illustrate the game is that when you play the game as a student, you can't go back until you finish the game. And you can see that there's a total score. If you had the students playing in a computer lab, you could walk around and let them show you their scores as extra credit. There's a help screen that talks about the program and how to go about playing it. So that's the academic game maker and game player. You can get the academic